because now it's going to be just a straight up 1v2. You can see Noah has already disengaged with the shockwave here, and honestly, the onus is going to be on Rezon to make a play here. He has that kind of green charge shotgun and the LMG, so if he can get wall to wall, he can make a play. And now it's all on him as Noah Riley goes down. The first one, it will be traded out by Rezon. Good job picking up Lecce, getting the Siphon right away to put the pressure on his opponents, but still, it's a 1v2 against Savage and Benji, but Savage is hurting. Just one shot from Rezon will be able to put him over. You see the Chug Splash used right away to try and equalize that.
And this is going to be a Titan versus Titan right now. Rezon, he is 1v3 in this entire squad, and now he has one more left. As Sundown mentioned, it is Mr. Savage, who is really low, and it's going to be one time of shot with that charged shotgun, and Rezon has to be feeling it right now, knowing that he has this trio on the ropes. Rezon, can he go for another haymaker and get the big-time knockout and send waves throughout the Twitter universe? The Twitterverse right now is probably buzzing. The chat is buzzing right now as Savage is trying to do his best to salvage this, and it doesn't matter. What a big time hit.
Are still going to do 100 plus damage, and then all of a sudden, if you're not at that kind of 100 threshold, it becomes that much harder. But right now we can see Mongrel trying to go to work to salvage a terrible situation for his trio. You can see Mitro and Tayson are both down. First shot goes through, and the conversion also comes through, saving him just barely. You can see it being the difference maker there, picking up one, picking up two, using the Chug Splash on the ground as well to make sure that Mitro doesn't take over there. So a good job and some clutch moments coming out
with 20 plus elims in 2 games. So we're seeing the other regions putting out some big time eliminations here, but we are seeing some here as well. You mentioned our #1 spot, the French squad, already in the double digits for elims in this opening day here for the EU region.
Yeah, and I will give just like a quick correction going through that. Generally, we'll say like the French trio. 4ZR is Swiss, I believe, and then from Vietnam originally. However, I do believe they communicate in French because I think 4ZR speaks French. Not 100% going on there, but generally referring to them because Grizzy is kind of that French organization as you see going through there. But now on board here with Miro, Snap, and Snap Miro Dog, who I'm not 100% positive is that last one there, but the fight going on by the lumber mill, one of the key areas on the map, a lot really underappreciated just because the sheer volume of wood in the upgrade bench makes it very easy to kind of get the loadouts you want. That's why you see there that epic shotgun going to be able to close the gap here. You can see making sure he's popping those minis so he's at the full HP because that storm is moving in, and we're going to have one of those unresolved trio fights happening now in the storm. So if you got your FNCS bingo card, shout out Aussie Antics. You can tick storm fight off as we have yet another one going on here.
Of course, Aussie Antics and Monster D-Face will be joining the cast here and be your casters for the NAE region, the North American East. Is going to be awesome. Don't go anywhere. We have all the action unfolding the rest of the weekend here, and this is going to be right now. We're in game 3 of 6. Tomorrow will be the rest of 6 through 12, and this is going to be an interesting thing, the break in between. Will teams kind of adjust this strategy? Will they understand, is it worth having these engagements way outside the safe zone?
We've seen this Russian trio get caught up a number of times over here. Rotary, Stormy Right, and Kiriachi trying to disengage from this fight. They do have a shockwave, so they might look to either team go in. Yes, that's what they're going to do. They're going to team shockwave into the box. He finds a 152 onto the first one. Can he follow it up? Instead, he goes, nope, finding somebody else. That's Cartoon going down on the other side. Good job to make sure he got the maximum damage headshot on the ground as well. Need everything for it. And the other part of this M10 trio is going to go down as well. You can see Keonix going down there, and I think it's only a matter of time. Yep, Florini finding the other end of that legendary shotgun. Well done from Stormy Right and Rotary there to clean up that fight. A really good job using the horizontal shockwave to get in there.
And that was a battle between this 27th place and the 26th place.
The pseudo infantry rifle like aiming that comes with the Stark infantry rifle to just get those key storm surge tags. And so despite the fact that Tusenko only have 1 elimination coming through, they're 515 damage above the storm surge, so not really going to be threatened by that. And as we talk about it, Tus picking up a huge shot there on Today Visitor. Really well done to execute there, and again making sure he lines up a key shot there. Browner will also pick up Joel, making this into a quick little 3v1 and giving them a nice little repository of jellyfish and slurpfish there. Some of the new fishes coming through, they're going to be able to top themselves up and should have more than enough mats and loot to all be at maximum after this.
look for Thomas' experience and skill and leadership to lead this team to success as they continue on. But this was my pick because every time I'm watching them, they do so well together, and Nas and Flick are just fraggers. As you're seeing, they take out Mona, who's making their first time appearance here in a grand final type situation. But I gotta root for this pick here at Sundown. I gotta know what Zeke has in store for that secret prize.
And you can see there, Anas, you talked about him being a fragger. And honestly, I think Thomas kind of takes a little bit of a step back when you get into trios in that role because so much of his presence comes from the sniper and comes from that AR aim. But Anas is just good. Anas is freaking solid as a player. Not to take anything away from Thomas and Flick, they're also very good. But when Anas is comfortable going box to box.
In that FNCS solo. So close to getting that Axe of Champions, which is something that only a few players in the world get. And that is what their trios are not only competing for a lot of money, yes, at the end of the month, but it'd be very nice to have that awesome pickaxe as Jachu picks up an elim right here on knock, actually. And this is what's going to be a big time factor. That elevation gives so many players eyes and range opportunities to kind of set down beams on everyone down below. At Sundown, the people down below are in a risk because if the circle pulls up this little elevation, they're going to be a big time factor of losing all their mat resources and having the focus of the lobby. Because not only this squad of Jachus here, there's like kind of like a great wall of forts being built up here, and they're going to gatekeep a lot of people trying to get their way in.
Yeah, and they're less of a Mongol horde and more of just a couple of scavenged zombies on the side just desperately trying to break in. Like, let me in, and everyone on top is just like, no. This is a prime example. Hey, if you want to know what gatekeeping looks like in Fortnite, the ones on top of the hills are the gatekeepers, and the one underneath on the bottom of the hills are the ones being gatekept. And this is kind of one of the most absolute dreaded zones in competitive Fortnite.
It's kind of like a face-off between both men looking at each other through the cracks of the wood there. But you got to be careful here as Tez in the squad with only 1 point here today. You know, all it takes is a couple, and there it is, another one. It's basically free. No one kind of shooting it, but their biggest puzzle piece they have to solve is how they're going to make their way up. And already there was a trio that kind of built their way, and look at the lobby focus spray that just happened as Mongrel, Tayson, and Mitro are now kind of heating up as they were here this entire time here. They never left Stark Industries. They never have to. They get beams, and this is going to be in their favor because they didn't burn a lot of their utility. They didn't burn their mobility. All they had to do is move a couple of 100 yards over, and they're in zone.
And this is the Become Legends trio who they just got a down on. That's Slicks, and they're going to know now that that's a potential 2v3. And one thing to note that I kind of wanted to talk about, we didn't get an opportunity. Notice how a lot of the trios are opting to run double burst within a Stark rifle. The reason for this is because if you have the ammunition to support it and you're not worried about the medium bullets, which the Stark rifle doesn't necessarily burn through as many as fast, where the burst does, that allows you to be throwing so much damage towards these walls. Is really just hoping that they don't remain unnoticed.
And we did see in DreamHack a Liege holding on down south and able to walk away as a champion as the zone did pull their way. But it's another great point there, Sundown. And Stark Industry does have a lot of medium ammo. So that is what's going to be the benefit here as Mongrel gets a nice knock right through in there. And already this team that's been coming in 9th place has the ability to get up higher and higher as Rotary picks up in lane and Stormy right. So they are still going. They're still cooking. They're still vibing. But right now, it is the solving of this problem of this big piece on top. And look at it. Already, Toos, Browner, and Tomsy are setting up for height. There's a 2 connection there as they were able to connect to this team right here that we're zooming into of Mexi, Astro, and Exponential. And so now, as you see, it actually pulls completely off. So that high ground that you just built, nullified. It does not go your way. You're going to have to figure out another plan here as there's only one trio sitting in the front of the zone, and the gamble pays off for that team down south. And already people are having early rotations knowing that the congestion on their side, they do not want to get beamed. So that's what Toos and Tomsy are. Browner, as you see on your top left of your screen, ladies and gentlemen, are doing with that Stark Energy Rifle, looking for those skeet shooting opportunities to get the beams on as Mexi and his squad decide to rotate early and avoid the beams, and now built up here, and now it's just a crazy mad dash to the front of circle.
And you see Mexi almost caught a present there in the form of another player in the pump shot, getting 60 plus damage there, but Mythic raining down shots above. 16 trios remaining, so every single point coming through, or every single placement coming through will be an additional point. Tony Mythic will get taken down there, and you see the initial tarp starting to go, and everyone trying to get in front of the zone and then about face as fast as you can. And you can see just how much we talked about kind of this change in verticality, and the drastic change is going to make it that much more difficult. But look on the low ground. We talked about how good they were sticking hip to hip. So even with Slicks going down, Rifle and Larise again end up with an isolated layer on the low ground, and they find elimination as well. So the Become Legends trio might be able to do it themselves, get the confirmation there. But also we still have Tayson and co running through. Rifle gets another one on to Kiriachi as well. So really well done from that team to continue pressing forward. Clement turns around and picks up Stormy right, but right now Advise, Jachu, and Paco have a relatively uncontested layer, and they're doing a good job of picking up some shots on the backside of the zone.
Can Rifle and Slicks do the thing that Amplify and ADN and Matzo did, where ADN and Amplify was a 2v3 situation? They were able to clutch and get it. The story continues, but we're on board here with Paco and Jachu and Vise, who are basically sitting on top of Stark, getting those beams ready, sitting with 30 points here, and doing a lot of damage, and Paco packs that in, sends him out of the lobby. Gone! You've been eliminated. Clement is still cooking up right now. We're taking a look at who's at height, and they still were able to hold on to height. It's Toos, Tomzy, and Browner, and they're going to lay down beams on everybody. And you're looking at Mongrel, Tayson, and Mitro, who I believe are, yes, they're second from height, but they're not being focused. And you do not want to be second from height, because you will be focused. Now we're taking a look at Nate and Mongrel here. Nate on the top side of your screen, Mongrel on the bottom. Mongrel makes a play for height. He's going to lay down some big-time beams, and now we have Mongrel and Tayson and height. What a big-time play using that shockwave, Sundown.
Yeah, and that's one of the benefit of being at that Mythic POI and holding those shockwaves till late. Yes, that team was able to hold top in the high zone, but only for so long. And some brilliant shots coming out from Mongrel there, able to execute and get a huge down on the Kesniks. Now they have complete control of the high ground. The question is, what can Nate do on the low ground, and how many eliminations can he steal away here as a solo? You can see Kesniks going down, but Nate says, I'm not going down without a fight. He gets one, he gets two. I believe only one of those was his actual one. He says, no, I'll make a third, but instead gets cleaned up in the box-to-box, doesn't switch over in time to the AR. So now it's all about the Stark Industries crew. You have Mongrel, Mitro, and Tayson. 11 eliminations so far. High ground to their name. They have the full trio, and they should just be able to walk this one over the finish line.
All they have to do is hold on to the height, and I believe they did lose it right there. They're going to go ahead and get somebody knocked down as we have everybody that's still up from this trio. As Mongrel picks up an elim right now. It is a top 3 situation. Mongrel picks up another one and gets the Victory Royale. It's a trio splash screen of Victory Royale in this 9th place.
After that game, and of course, the next one was Reese's prediction. Kesniks, ForZR, and Nate, they're still holding down. They said, Reese,
these guys are on their secondary engines. I'm combining analogies, but they're now even more so ahead. It's not a 1-point differential. Past on the second page, though, that spread is also evening out even more. 43-32. It's getting wide here, Reese.
I know a bit of a difference between 6th and 10th, but one of the teams that I want to look at is in 9th place, Flick, Anas, and Thomas HD. Didn't perform too well in their first 2 games. However, that game, we probably didn't see as them pick